Season 2, Episode 16 of The Owl House has earned its place as one of the best entries in the series, surpassing some of my all-time favorites like Yesterday's Lie and Knock Knock Knocking on Hoodie's Door. I think the reason it was able to do this was because it shed a little bit of light on one of the darkest aspects of its lore, Emperor Belos' mind. This episode doesn't just reveal Belos' past, it tells us exactly what kind of person Belos is. He isn't just evil, he's a master manipulator. And it all starts with the structure of his mind. A lot of animated shows usually explore the mindscape of their main protagonist. In Inside Job, we see the exploration of memories. In Gravity Falls, we see dreams. And in Inside Out, we see emotions personified. The Owl House itself has explored the mindscape of one of its main characters, Willow. But it's very rare for a show to explore the mind of its villains. Unlike Willow, Belos' mind has a layered structure. In the upper layer, we see some of the most iconic moments of his life illustrated as paintings on the walls of a hallway. The entire layer has a colorful aesthetic. However, we find out that these illustrations are not what they appear to be. They have no substance, they have no truth. Unlike the upper layer, the bottom is a lot less colorful, and it feels like a barren wasteland. The paintings here are dull and torn, but they are actual doorways to Belos' real memories. It's these memories that reveal to us Belos' horrible deeds. You may look at this and say, this layer, right here, represents Belos' true character, and you would only be half right. You see, if the bottom was all there was to Belos, he will probably be an outright villain, causing all sorts of destruction. But he's not. The two layers, as a whole, is what truly captures Belos' identity, a facade layered on top of truth. It's this mixture of facade and truth that reflects in how he conducts himself, because it's baked into how he thinks. This structure of his mindscape gives us a better understanding of the dichotomy in his character. I think Hunter sums it up best when he says, the mindscape reflects the individual.
But how can I prove he's actually evil? It feels so obvious, but no one believes me.
It's because Belos is really good at concealing his motives. He doesn't just hide his agenda, but like every good con man, he gives you a lie to hold on to. His lies are often masqueraded as being in the people's best interest. In this case, Belos wants to help the people of the Isles live out the Titan's will. He claims to possess the ability to communicate with the Titan, and the Titan has revealed to him its disdain for wild magic. But there are those attempting to stop him from communicating this message. It's interesting how Belos communicates. You see, Belos' primary manipulative tactic is fear-mongering. He uses it to coerce his victims into making the choices that he wants them to. Take a look at this.
Fellow citizens, we are born into chaos. Our lives anger the Titan. My own family has been hurt by the darkness of wild magic. I've been shown the healing light. It shines in 9 hues.
Knowing how important the Titan is to the people of the Isles, he uses the anger of the Titan as a tool for fear-mongering. He essentially takes what the people care about and puts a sense of urgency on the matter, while he masquerades it as being in their best interest. But what makes his fear-mongering all the more effective is how he embellishes it with his personal experience. Let's take a look at the previous statement again.
Fellow citizens, we are born into chaos. Our lives anger the Titan. My own family has been hurt by the darkness of wild magic.
Belos is not afraid to make his message as persuasive as possible to his audience. He ensures that both his past and present are an accurate portrayal of his message. Wild magic is evil, and it is against the will of the Titan. Since no one can fact check his past, he can lie about it. And for his present, well...
The wild witches! They have found me! Run!
Let's just say he puts a lot of effort into staging false events, all of which are effective in demonstrating the truth of his message. Belos' second manipulative tactic is the use of ambiguity or unclear statements to sway his audience's pattern of thinking. This ambiguity is often spoken with a fear-mongering tone, and this leads his audience to project meaning to his words. Just take a look at the second memory that Luce and Hunter visit.
What's the kid doing?
Shh.
Look at what wild magic has done to your city. Now imagine what it's doing to you. A city can rise from the ashes, but a soul...
What does that mean?
The witches of the Isles in that scene begin to project meaning to his words, and when they look to him for clarity, Belos offers a cold silence which helps to foster their negative interpretations of what he's trying to say before they finally give in and accept the coven sigils. When he's not being ambiguous or using fear-mongering, Belos turns on his charm, a pretentious benevolence, a power play he often uses to win the admiration of his audience and lower their guard. You can often see that charm in the way he smiles, his mannerisms, in how he walks, and his tone of voice when he isn't wearing his mask. Sounds like a loving uncle, and it's outstanding to me how effective this is in really swaying the people of the Boiling Isles. For Belos, everyone is a means to an end. Every person has their purpose. The people of the Isles, his inner circle, his enemies, and even the Collector are all pawns in his quest. To Belos, the value of every person lies in how well they serve his desired end. And it's no wonder that we see the same devastating effects on his victims. They all feel used, drained, and angry at his schemes and his tactics. I think one of the most tragic parts of Hollow Minds was watching Hunter come to terms with the truth about Belos. As each memory reveals itself, Hunter enters into a state of denial. His mind tries to justify Belos' actions with any excuse that he could think of.
No one wants to think they've wasted their life following the wrong person. We just gotta find something big to change their minds.
As someone who believed that everything Belos did was for the good of the people, it was hard for him to accept that it was all a facade. And for the first time, Hunter sees clearly how disposable he is in Belos' eyes, that he's nothing more than a half-baked copy of an original. The entire situation leaves Hunter traumatized and in greater fear of Belos than he has ever been. I wouldn't be too judgmental towards Hunter for not seeing what we as an audience could see all along. Luce herself couldn't realize that she was being played by Belos. I mean, she might have seen through his fear-mongering, but she fell for his charm and well-meaning personality so many decades ago. It just shows how effective Belos' tactics are. Luce's expression is the last thing we see before the credits, and as disturbing and airy as it is, I think it captures perfectly what it's like to be in the mind of one of the most manipulative and twisted individuals of the Boiling Isles.